I don't
They
trust
told
any
me to
of
do
you.
it, guys, but this is like a really nice cake, and the whole crew could get a nice big piece
It's a
of birthday
nice
cake.
suit, so you better not throw that damn thing on me.
See you
Oh,
later.
you jerk! Get out of here!
Come on, Catherine. You
Get out
gotta
of
get
here!
him.
Oh, yeah. Nobody's going to know what the hell
was
that
that?
is. That's right. Yeah, you were traveling, so you're excused. You don't know. But last night, we did a little bit of a soft opening of our new Peacock post-game show, right?
Soft launch.
Soft launch, a soft opening, whatever the
works.
hell.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a store, it's a show. Who the hell cares? It's one of those things. But we did that. It was my birthday yesterday.
I know
right?
this. Happy
Here it
birthday.
is. So here you go.
Oh, right. No. Oh, good deflection.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. I've had people tell me that's 99 Madden awareness
reaction.
right there.
Yeah. Was she going to?
What? Yes.
She was.
She's taken full credit for it because I said, man, it's going to be a long year for you, Catherine, because you're going to get payback and you're just going to have to keep waiting for it to happen. She brought it out and I knew like something was up, but
Yeah.
then she kind of sat there and stopped. And they must have told Jack and Rodney to talk to me for a second to distract me.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm looking at them, and I'm thinking, she's not going to do it anymore. We've gone over it. It's not going to
Yeah.
happen. I'm ready. And I turned around and saw it, and thank God she didn't get me.
KT had the opening. She kind of
She did. She was
hesitated
trying to be
a little
slow
bit.
and
Yeah.
hesitate. Good thing she did. Good
Had she
thing.
moved quickly, it would have been right on
I
there.
know. Yeah, she did. She went easy on me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't mean she's going to avoid payback, though. I'm not going to go easy on her.
We have no
okay?
cake, Pete, right? Do we?
No,
No?
no cake.
Okay.
Did you see how it fell? It fell perfect.
I didn't.
It only a little piece
Really?
fell off. It fell flat on its.
Did you eat
look,
it?
There it is. It fell
No way.
perfect.
It's upside down.
That's
but
what I do. I mean, I just flip cakes and they land perfectly.
How
That's
many
me.
pieces on the drive back to Greenwich did you have?
None. I had
on.
enough food and cake this weekend.
Yeah.
And a lot of other substances to go along with it, so I didn't need any more things in my body at that point. And that was like probably 12:30,
Yeah.
12:20 last night.
Yeah.
So I was done with sugar for the day.
I was thinking about your 41st birthday. I had you and Mike on this morning, and today's the last morning of my house. The kids aren't up because school starts tomorrow. So
Yeah.
I had it on
Yeah.
full blast. I heard everything the first like 10 or 15 minutes.
Right.
Very nice gift of Mike to get you that jersey from Brian Piccolo.
Crazy,
Such a cool
right?
idea.
Crazy.
I was actually thinking, because I saw online that it was your birthday, I should have gotten him a Bobby Stoops jersey because Bobby wore 41 at Iowa. All the Stoops
Oh.
brothers did. Tiny little connection between the two of you with your history
I mean, he
there.
just whooped my ass every year when he was at
I
Oklahoma.
thought it might be a little sensitive, but now at 41,
It's
we're able
not.
to laugh about these things.
It's not sensitive at all. I
Yeah.
mean, I would have laughed at it. You're right. I mean, I always think of him and go, oh, motherfucking Oklahoma. Blah, blah. But he was always great to me. You know, even like even after some tough losses to them, Bob Stoops always came to find me and would say nice things to me as I was walking off the field, which
Yeah.
I always appreciated. I mean, literally, like sometimes where he was like, "Hey," I mean, my junior year, he just went, "You keep playing." He goes, "They're not helping you out much here. We know all about your offense." And I remember walking off going like, man, that's weird that a
Yeah.
coach would say that to me.
Yep.
But it made me feel good because I was going to get blamed because we lost
Right.
against Oklahoma, even though we couldn't do anything else. And that was cool. So I wouldn't have been mad if you got me that. Yeah.
All three of the Stoops brothers wore it, and all three are real dudes just like you talked about.
I know they are.
They're all, we're kind of connected with Iowa when I was there.
Right.
And they just want to like have a Bud Light and talk football.
No doubt. They are true ball coaches, just men's men. And yeah, I've
Exactly.
enjoyed it. I got to spend a few times when I first got into the media business. I went down and covered a few Oklahoma games.
Okay.
And let's see, at that time, Bob was just coming to the end, but I think Mark might have been on the staff there in Oklahoma.
Was he down there?
Yeah, it might have
Yeah.
been. It was like a year or two. I might have him confused on which one, but either way, I got a lot of respect for what they do and what they gave to college football. I don't like them that they beat me all the time, but other than that, it was good. But
Good guys, yeah.
we got a good weekend. We got a lot of crap to talk about here. I mean, we got quarterback stuff. We're going to do some over-under stuff today.
Love the
AFC.
over-unders.
Yes. It's a weird year with the over-unders when you first look at it because you got to remember there's an extra game.
Right, I know.
And that's going to change the dynamic of the over-under altogether. But either way, we're going to hit on some of that. I feel like I got a good feel. I'm kind of coming into like my zone, I think, of like I kind of got my playoff teams in both conferences. I mean, I'm not going to unveil them today.
Right.
I mean, I'm sure you'll get a clue of where I'm going with that. But next week we'll do that. And now I just got to kind of like in my brain start to formulate who do I think is going to make the run.
What you're
and do
saying
all
is
that.
you've had a good August.
I've had a decent August.
You had an off July.
Yes.
Like, literally, you were off.
Right.
August, you have gained command of how you feel about all these teams.
Yeah, no, definitely.
Well done.
I mean, I haven't missed much. I know that. There's maybe a few plays here and there from a few teams that I haven't seen real deep dive stuff of. But as Pete could tell you, I'm blowing up his phone all weekend when I'm watching games, or I wake up in the morning, something I didn't see, I turn on film as I eat breakfast. Let me check this guy out, that guy out. So I do feel like I got a pretty good feel, and we'll have some fun today talking about it.
We will get into those over-unders, and we're hitting the AFC today. And I'm going to remind you, I'll bring it up again, you did pretty well last year. So
Okay.
I'm kind of setting you up a little.
Yeah.
Because the bar was set with the winning record for
Right.
your picks last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did pretty solid
I know
last
you
year. I
did.
did. And I
Yeah.
think even some of the ones I missed, I mean, I just barely missed. It wasn't like I was far off.
You were right on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that's coming.
Yep.
Let's start with some quarterback stuff. The preseason has been nice to us.
Yeah.
Giving us some real quarterback issues. We're not even fabricating here.
No.
Some things going on. Let's start with the 49ers.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance traded off like during drives over the weekend.
Yes.
That was new. That was unexpected. So I'm going to ultimately ask you what you would do there
Right.
in each one of these situations. But
Right.
what did you think about that mix and how Kyle played that?
I wasn't sure. I guess the first thing that jumped, I didn't know if we would see that like in the preseason. I thought maybe it might be something that he held out to the regular season and kind of just unveiled it and was like, huh, yep. I mean, you heard all the chatter, but here it is. There's Trey Lance. But I think either way, like any obsessed coach, you know, they're type A, they worry about everything. They don't want to just unveil it in week one. You know, one thing that jumped out to me about preseason week number 3, you saw some teams, and I want to go, no, we might have thought they were going to play this way, but they're playing this way, and this is what they're going to do. They showed you in preseason game 3. That was a dress rehearsal, and they're going to be their new thing. So, hey, I'll go back to what I said. I've said 2 things all along, all right? From the get-go, I've always, we can go back to spring, I said I thought it would be Jimmy Garoppolo starts, and they're going to have a package for Trey Lance in every game. I said that all the way. We got an early training camp, and the way some talk was going, the first game by Trey Lance, and I went, I don't know, maybe Trey Lance can do this. Maybe Shanahan needs to just throw him out there and start the Trey Lance era. Stop all the bullshit of back and forth quarterbacking and all that type of stuff. But I think between the first preseason game, which was solid against the Chiefs,
Right.
had that game plan 80-yard touchdown pass, but then preseason game number 2 against the Chargers, and then preseason game number 3 yesterday against the Raiders, you can't start Trey Lance yet. He just
What's the biggest reason you say that?
you can't trust Trey Lance in obvious passing situations yet. And like if you could be in trouble in that aspect, and just where, hey, listen, he, like we've talked about, he hasn't played a ton of football. He's learning how to be a pocket passer, you know, learning how to make certain throws in the NFL. But, you know, one thing we've seen consistently through 3 games is open receivers missed.
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
And he was
that's-
under 50% yesterday.
under 50%.
In the preseason.
I know. Exactly right. You know it's going to be base looks, and some of the misses were like, whoa, he's wide open, and you missed him. So, you know, that's where I think you can't start him. But what Shanahan did yesterday, I think, is a true picture of what you're going to see early on in the year, or at least till Jimmy G falters and they feel like Trey Lance now can, pick it up, and he's good in the offense and knows how to drop back pass and do all those things. But I don't know how Shanahan could trust him to be the starting quarterback. I mean, you got in a few first third downs.
Yeah.
You know, we've seen it's been borderline a few times disaster to where I think that would scare him.
Right.
I think this is the right approach, what we saw yesterday, and it's going to be a handful for teams to defend.
A couple of things. If you're not watching with us, if you just listened, we just ran the graphic of what they both did during the 3 preseason games. Garoppolo, I think 10 for 16, basic but efficient.
Yeah.
Trey Lance, not only under 50% yesterday, 6 out of 13, he's under 50% the entire preseason.
Exactly right.
And at times, and I think you've done a nice job of pointing this out the last couple of seasons we've been doing this, numbers don't mean everything. They can be misleading.
Definitely.
But in the preseason, if your quarterback's less than 50%,
Yeah.
it's at least a little bit of a red flag.
No doubt.
Another one that jumps out to me,
Yeah.
and no matter what kind of offense a team is running,
Right.
I'd love to look at yards per attempt. And it should be around 7-ish.
Sure.
If you're pushing 8 or 9, that's great.
Yes, right.
If you're down around 7, it's acceptable. Threw the ball 13 times yesterday for 46 yards.
Yeah.
In any offense, whether it's August or December, that's really bad.
Yeah.
You don't call 13 passes to average less than 4 times per those attempts. So
Yeah, 3.5
3.5
yards per
yards,
attempt.
as Pete chimes
Right.
in. Yeah, exactly, Pete. Thank you for that. So I agree you can't start him.
Yeah.
You think this might be the start of something, though, using both of them. Do you think it'll be as extreme, as radical as, like, during the same series, or from one series to the next, or just like, okay, he's going to play 2 series in this game, maybe one in the first, maybe one in the third. How do you see that playing out?
I think it's going to play out like we saw yesterday.
Really?
I don't think they'll be like, hey, here, this is your whole series. I don't. I think he's going to try to do this.
Would be so new.
I know. And listen, I'll say this right off the bat. Like, hey, there's risk, and I'm going to hit on that in a second.
Yeah.
But as I said today to Florio on PFT, if there's a guy in football who can pull this off, it's Shanahan. You know, Shanahan, first off, we know how creative he is on the offensive side of the ball. One thing you could say about Kyle Shanahan, whether you like him or not, I don't really give a damn. The one thing we know is players love him. You can't find a – I mean, they cut players, and they're like, thank God for the 49ers taking me. Kyle's awesome, and he's a genius. Like, they just cut you. But he's still a genius. Like, so it tells you Kyle has a special way to communicate. He has a special way to sell things to his football team. I know that about him. You know, that's a little thing I think he stole even from John Gruden, if we wanted to really get into the weeds there a little bit, where if Gruden had a new play, he was going to have a tape and show it to the offense and go, this is why we're going to run this play, and this is why it makes sense, and you get the team to buy in. Shanahan's going to do the same thing. You know, we know the team likes Jimmy Garoppolo, but he's going to explain to them and show them true schematics. Even guys that are like, I don't give a fuck about these schematics. What is he talking about? He's going to show them to go, wait, this is why I got Trey Lance in. Look at the bind we're putting this defense in. Look at this backside linebacker, all the things he's got to worry about.
And we saw that where he was really working that run-pass option,
no
keep
doubt.
the ball, hand it off.
Right.
Very college-ish.
He's Lamar Jackson-ish.
Yeah,
That's what I would
there
say.
you go.
You know, we saw like, hey, Mostert offset to the left.
Yep.
You know, there's Trey Lance. He gives the ball to Mostert, but also, so Mostert's running the right, but the right guard and right tackle pull left in case Lance wants to keep the ball, and now he's got two lead blockers if the look is right. So that is going to be a handful for teams to go. And then Shanahan, come on, that's probably just the tip of the iceberg. He's going to have some real, I'm sorry, Kristen, for this one, some real for everybody to deal with. That's a new word,
I
right?
haven't heard it.
Yeah, it's some real like, I don't know, we're fucked. I don't know what the hell to do here. Like, he's going to have something else to that, just knowing him. It's not just going to be, oh, we got Lamar Jackson plays and we're good.
Yeah.
So that's scary that way. I do think this is what we're going to see, though. I don't think you're going to just see, like, Trey, you take a series.
Okay.
Jimmy, you take a series. To me, that's riskier than what they're doing here.
Yeah.
I think you stay in a better rhythm as a quarterback a little bit if it's like, okay, I'm in the game, I had two plays. If I'm Jimmy Garoppolo, okay, now I'm off for a play or two, but I'm right back in again, okay, and I was on the sidelines for a second. I would rather that
I kind of think the other way.
You do?
I think it would be best case scenario for Trey Lance.
Right.
Like, what? I don't have to have the entire game?
Yeah.
I can come in and just do my thing? Yeah, awesome. Thank you.
Right.
Sign me up. If you're Garoppolo, you're a veteran. If you're 3 out of 4, you don't want to see that other guy come jogging in.
Yeah, no, I hear you.
Keep it going.
I hear you. I get that. I mean, there's definitely. Listen, this is why this is not perfect. This is not going to be perfect, and there is some risk to this as well. I guess the other thing I say to what you're saying, because I know what you're saying. You're right. You're in a good groove. I want to do this, whatever else.
Yeah.
But I would also go, man, if they do play Trey Lance for 2 series, there you are on the sidelines for 2 series, just standing there.
Yeah.
So that stinks. And then my ultimate point would just be, I think you're more of a pain in the butt to the other team with switching him. Like,
I'm glad you took it there.
That's
Keep
where
it
I
going,
think. You know what I mean?
I'd certainly have a follow-up there.
That's where I would be like, because now, Trey Lance is in. All we got to do is think about Trey Lance and his plays, and that's what he does. Okay. Now, if you're doing both, you're like, wait, Jimmy Garoppolo, play action, boots. Oh, no, Shanahan run scheme. Okay, we're all over that. Hey, here, what's the call, defensive coordinator? Oh, okay, under China, cover 1. Okay. Oh, wait, Lance is in? Oh, no. Wait, okay, guys. And now you have to make a bunch of different calls and make everybody else aware of now like a totally different skill set. So that to me would be maybe more of an advantage you would get by doing that. And also I think you're not putting as much pressure on Lance either by playing it that way, their way. So it's a tough one. I'm not saying it's perfect.
No, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think it's fun to think about. I didn't think of this as an option. You and I did talk last week about the possibility of Trey playing couple 3 series in the traditional way, even though it doesn't happen much if you think about quarterbacks sharing time. I never thought about them playing on the same series. And one of my first thoughts was, okay, Chris has made this point that it's over. This thinking that you're screwing with the D coordinator by playing a running quarterback. There are running quarterbacks all over the league. This isn't 10 years ago. This isn't 4 years ago. They're used to this. But if you reshuffle the deck and say, okay, I understand that. I understand if we roll out Trey in the second quarter, it's not really a surprise to you, and you're used to playing against running quarterbacks.
Yeah.
If you do it throughout a series, that hasn't been done.
Yes.
That's new.
That is new.
May indeed, to the f***age point, mess with the other defensive coordinator. He's like,
I think so.
Okay, I don't know how to handle this series.
I don't know what to expect here. I kind of just got to sit back and wait and see what he's going to do with the quarterbacks here.
Yeah.
And you're not going to have a feel for, probably down and distance all the time of when it's going to happen. I mean, I don't think they're going to take Garoppolo out on third downs and be like, Trey Lance, you're in here on 3rd and 8.
Yeah.
But if it's 3rd and 3, he might.
Yeah.
Because now you still have the threat of the run. He can boot, quarterback keep, whatever else. So there's that aspect of it. But I think, to what you're saying, that's where we're going. I brought up the point to Mike today. I do think people are a little bit like, oh, gosh, you got to prepare for both. And I want to be like, listen, I know that's a pain in the butt. But, we can go Patriots, Bills, Ravens, Saints, Cardinals, Eagles, Bears to a degree if Justin Fields gets in there, and we've seen it from Mitchell Trubisky. Seattle with Russell Wilson at times, I know is not as much. Dallas did it with Dak Prescott. They probably won't hear early in the year. And even Houston with Deshaun Watson. Yeah. They all had quarterback design runs. So this is not like it's going to be like, oh, no, we've never seen this before.
It's not a new concept.
But it's going to be Shanahan, which to me is going to be more creative. He's going to have to find a few ways for the fuckage.
Yep.
Sorry, Kristen, it's the last time I'll say it. Okay? With that on defenses, I believe. And, Florio brought up the good point with, he was just going, yes, but, it's still, like you're saying, those other teams, it's one quarterback.
Yep.
So, but now it's two different mindsets between, what you're saying. It's Garoppolo, it's Lance, and I think that's where it could be interesting. Now, there's risk, too.
To me, the risk comes down to one person.
Yeah.
And I believe Kyle Shanahan would have a great time and pull it off.
Yeah.
As I said, I think it's best case scenario for Trey Lance. And I think the entire team would buy into it. I think they'd be excited about it. One person, I think, will make this work or not work if they do it, and that's Jimmy Garoppolo.
Of course.
It's so against what a guy who's almost 30 years old with that many starts wants to do.
Incredible pressure on him. He's in a no-win situation to a degree. I mean, it's tough. I mean, he can win. I mean, I get that. But again, as I've made the point before, this is different than Drew Brees and Taysom Hill. I mean, Drew Brees is got the key to the city of New Orleans, is well-established, Hall of Famer.
They weren't doing it within the same series.
Exactly right. And they might have been, but it was at a point where it was okay, I'm content with my career.
Oh, yeah.
I'm the man still.
It was Drew's
and
team.
this guy will help us out and win this.
Different.
Garoppolo is not established like that. People are foaming at the mouth and now to replace him and start the Trey Lance era. And that's where, again, that's where this could be dicey too, especially for a team that I do believe is a Super Bowl legit contender.
Right.
This is where you can divide a fan base, divide a locker room. Oh, Jimmy G has a few bad series or whatever, and then those plays they sprinkled in with Trey Lance were really good, and all of a sudden everybody's booing Jimmy G, and that start Trey Lance, and that's the problems that I would worry about a little bit.
He could also be 6 out of 8 and rolling, and Trey could come in and go 0 for 2 or 1 for 3.
Fumble the ball, do something like that, whatever.
Right? Yeah, doesn't mean he can't play, but it very well might happen. And that will put Kyle in a tough spot.
That is going to put Kyle in, because everyone's going to go, well, Jimmy G was hot. Why did you do that?
Yeah.
You took him out of his rhythm. And you put the young guy in after he was hot and he fumbled and you lost the game. So that's what they're going to have to deal with. Now, they made their bed.
What would you do?
I think I would do what they're doing. I would.
What they did, I think it was yesterday.
Yes, what they did yesterday.
Sunday.
Yes, I would. I am I think you got to keep the big picture in mind. You've heard me say from the start, you can't just let Trey Lance sit on the bench. He hasn't played enough football.
Yeah.
He's got to play a little bit, especially with everything you traded away for him. And, I think I favor this aspect more than the you take 2 series, you take 2 series. I think that will take an offense out of its rhythm as compared to, hey, here's Jimmy outside zone. Here's Jimmy play action pass. It's first down. Here comes Trey Lance in. Oh, gosh, Lamar Jackson play. Boom, first down. Jimmy's back in.
Right.
I think you're better off that than, hey, Jimmy, sit on the bench for 2 series. And if he's on fire, he might go in for a 3rd series. He might have to sit there.
Right.
But if he shits the bed here, you might have to go in after this first series. That to me is annoying too. So I think he's onto something. We'll see if he can pull it off.
The Lions next 2 weeks just changed.
Yes.
Because I think that's who they play.
They do.
1,
Lions and Eagles, first 2 games for them.
Okay.
Yeah, on the road.
Yeah.
The Lions are going to get their hands full.
Their prep feels a whole lot different.
Well, it definitely does. Now, let me just say this just through that real quick.
Yeah.
Where that defensive staff, you know where they came from? New Orleans.
Oh yeah.
So this won't be their first rodeo knowing how to defend this either. You know. So I'm interested to see how it all goes. I really am. It's a dicey situation.
I think it's a fun one.
It is a fun one.
There's a lot of predictability in the preseason, and even though the storyline might change a little bit with each game, this is an unexpected new fun one. So thank you, Kyle Shanahan.
We've never seen anything like
it.
We never seen anything like it. Like, listen, I don't think you're going to see. I know we're going to hit on this in a second. Like the Patriots, and there's no way. I don't think Bill Belichick would ever do that. I don't think he'd ever do it. He made a comment after the game, or this morning, that I read, where he was just like, they asked him about it, and he's like, well, no. He said something about like, I think we needed to tell our team who's playing and who's starting, not like let's keep everybody else guessing. He was like, no, it's about our team, and we got to start forming what we are.
Right.
And that's more of me and my thought process.
Yeah.
But Shanahan's a mad scientist, and like I said, if anybody can figure this out and pull it off, it's him.
Pete, can we reverse order here a little bit and go right to the Pats since Chris took there?
Sure.
Awesome. Okay, Cam Newton.
Wait, do we one last thing? I'm sorry to cut you off. Do we have pictures or anything of Trey Lance? Pete, step the in and tell me to show the. Well, do it again.
I think he probably told me. And I listened to you, Pete. That's on me.
Yeah, he told me too. He told me too.
All right.
So let's take a look before we move on to the Patriots. Let's look at a few of the things they did here.
This is Trey Lance running the read option over
Trey Lance running their versions of the read options. This is going to be a handoff to Mostert. It's going to go to our left. The offense is right. Go ahead. Let's play it. Let's see the next snapshot. But you see right here, this is the first problem it causes for you. Who the f***'s got the ball? And there's no keys you can read on the offensive line, right? One side of the line's blocking down. The other side's pulling the other way. The back's going this way. I don't know if the back or the tailback's got the ball right now. So it creates great confusion for especially like the second level, the linebacker. I'm sure like 54 and 49 right now are like, oh shit, I don't know where this ball is or who's got it. Either way, it causes, in this picture, the left end number 51 to pause, and it gives Mostert the ability now to run around the corner and not be touched. Let's go to the next picture or the next frame there. So see now they did their job. I don't know what he reads on this one as far as when he can keep it. They do have an unblocked guy on the end there that's kind of your lost and 60s blocking one guy, and there's another guy behind him. But either way, it makes 51 on the left pause there. Mostert, one of the fastest tailbacks in the game. Boom, he gets around the edge for, I'm going to say, what was it, a 15, 20-yard game? Yeah, 17-yard gain, Pete says. So that's a Lamar Jackson Baltimore scheme right there. And I'm interested to see, where that goes. But, yeah, I mean, I've seen, my thoughts on Shanahan.
Yeah.
And then you start doing some of that stuff with some play-action pass and things like that. Yeah. Yeah, they're going to be a pain in the butt.
Makes me think maybe he had this in the back of mind the entire time.
I think so. I do think I said early on in the draft process or somewhere in there that I do think Shanahan was a little bit intrigued by a lot of people are trying to steal my offense. He's got a few coaches around the league now that are running his system, and this is like Trey Lance. I can bring a new element that unless you have a stud running quarterback, you're not going to be able to copy this stuff. And I do think, like to your point, it probably was in the back of his mind.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're good there.
Pete,
you got any more pictures?
Am I okay to move it? I'm happy to do either one.
No, you're good. Let's
go. Got two quarterbacks playing the same series here. Okay. So Patriots.
Yeah.
Cam Newton, Mac Jones. Mm-hmm. Pete, you want to roll let's kick this one off here with the Cam against Mac preseason, kind of what they've done.
Sure.
So Cam Newton is good. 14 out of 21, $162. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Mac Jones got a lot more work, more than twice as much. He was 36 out of 52, almost 70%, 1 touchdown, no interceptions. It was a lot more the same for Mac Jones against the Giants. I think it was yesterday.
Yeah.
He was really good once again.
Really good.
Cam started, played a little bit.
Yeah.
His numbers are misleading. I thought one of the best balls he threw the entire preseason got picked.
Yeah, it was a great throw.
It was a great throw.
That'll
threw like 30-yard laser.
Laser, hit the guy in both
NFL
hands.
Kind of right. He just kind of – Blake Martinez made a fantastic play.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, he's making a few $1 million himself. He's allowed to make a play too.
But that was a really good throw. So the numbers – this is a case where Cam's numbers were a little bit misleading. But as Coach Fry used to say, the hay is in the barn. Mm-hmm. So you know what you have with both in the preseason. Bill said after the game, we have to make some decisions.
Yeah. I know.
What would you do here?
He's made some curious comments. I mean, even Thursday, he opened up my eyes where he just said, "I have no timetable on the decision." It was the first time he recognized there was a decision. He'd kind of been Cam, and now all of a sudden it was like, no, there's actually he's thinking about something here. I would be shocked if it's not Cam.
Why?
Well,
I don't think it would be that big of a shock.
You're maybe not a big shock. You're right. I mean, New England could pull it off.
But you're leaning toward Cam.
I'm leaning towards Cam. All right, just here's my first few base reasons right off the bat. I mean, he didn't start a preseason game, so now we're going to throw him out in week 1
against Cam.
But Mac,
yes.
right? He hasn't started a preseason game, but now we're going to throw him out week 1, right? We all know, listen, as awesome as he's been, the offense he's running, yes, it's empty, Tom Brady-ish, but it's not the next level of the playbook yet. Some of the plays they run in, like when it's first-team defense, regular season, some of that shit's not going to work, so they're going to have to expand more on what they do in that aspect, let alone we know defenses are going to expand. So it plays into his favor preseason football to a degree because it's simple looks. It's, hey, I'm smart, and I know he can do a lot of great stuff and all that stuff too, but it's simple on the offensive side of the ball too to where he can execute. I think Bill's smart enough to know, like, regular season's a different animal. Yep. And then my other thing would be after, like, hey, you haven't started any preseason games, and now we're going to start you week 1. Week 1's the Miami Dolphins. The Dolphins are real. The talent is real.
Especially defensively.
And all the defensive coaches are from New England.
Yeah.
So that would scare me to be like, hey, Mac, go out against them. They know our playbook, and they know all our rules. Now you go beat them. I think they have more of an advantage to go, let's put Cam in the backfield. They've never really been here when we did the quarterback run design stuff, floors and all them. And there's more f***age to be had. Sorry, might be the last one.
You
not
lied
sure.
to Kristen.
I know. There's more of that there to be had than Mac Jones. And now, again, I think this is like, if Cam falters in the first few weeks, it'll be a short leash. I think what Mac Jones has done now is given them enough confidence to go, we'll be okay with Mac, to like what your point is.
Right.
But I still think it's tough to just throw him in there right away. And I do still think that the team is not at Tom Brady, empty, Wes Welker, Edelman, Gronk, and Hernandez, and everybody are out there, and I can just pick people apart that way. I don't think they're there yet. I think they're more towards what I've always said, the Cam Newton, like, hey, we got 2 tight ends. We got maybe the best run-blocking offensive line in football. Run game's our thing. And Cam can accentuate that. And, yeah, he's not as good in empty and some of the 2-minute stuff that Mac Jones is.
Yeah.
But he's played a lot of football. He's won some big games. And we can formulate the play-action passes and things like that to where we know he can hit, and he's very comfortable in that mode to play that style of football.
Right.
I don't know. That's where I lean. I mean, you're right. I mean, Mac Jones started. I'm not going to be like, oh, my gosh. I guess I'd just be a little bit like, man, I never thought he'd start a rookie week 1.
Yeah.
I guess that's where I'd be a little bit.
To me, it falls under one of these categories of, go back to a baseball analogy, tie goes to.
Yeah.
So in baseball, it's obviously tie goes to the runner.
Right.
This is, to me, kind of a tie.
And
what makes it
close,
extra interesting on this set, these are 2 quarterbacks who you have taken up for and liked a little more than other people at the times they were being evaluated the most.
Right.
Last season when Cam was struggling, you saw some more positive while people were seeing a lot of negative.
Sure.
When Mac Jones was coming out in the draft, some people were like, oh, maybe he's a little better. You raised both hands and said, this guy's really good.
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to hearing what your tiebreaker was, because these are 2 guys that you have stood up for.
Yeah.
You pounded the table for and said they're a little better than what people are saying right now.
Yes.
And it sounds like a tie goes to his experience and maybe a little more his running ability.
I think so.
That Mac doesn't have.
I think so. Because I don't, again, they got some new pieces in the pass game. Are they really going to be able to install everything they want that they had with Brady, Nelson Aguilar, Kendrick Bourne, Jonnu Smith, Hunter Henry, all new? Like, I don't know if they're going to be able to get as deep and intricate into that yet to be able to just go, we can totally take advantage of Mac Jones and all those type of things. Hey, maybe in week 5 or 6 when he starts to even learn more of the offense, because it's all going to expand now. You saw cover 3 and cover 2 and all-out blitz in preseason. Now you're going to be like, wait, it's cover 6, it's cover 8. Wait, they're showing 4-week blitz and they're dropping out, and then it's Tampa 2, and it's the whole world's going to change that way. He's going to have to do more at the line of scrimmage, and I don't know. I don't imagine Belichick and them doing that to him, even though he's probably capable of handling it. I just don't think they're going to throw him into the Wolves' den quite like that.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean, it's interesting nonetheless, but I do think Cam will be on a short leash now. But here's the last thing.
Yep.
I know Mac's been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I think Mac's awesomeness has put pressure on Kyle and the Trey Lance thing too, because they'll forever be linked. Forever.
But he couldn't do with Mac what it looks like he's going to do.
No, absolutely not. No, it's not. No, you're right. It's a different look. I would go no, but he could do things that Jimmy Garoppolo can't, and you'd go, ooh, gosh, this looks good. But either way, my point was that, yes, I think they'll err on Cam. And if it doesn't start out good, sluggish, whatever, and they don't like the look of it, I think nonetheless he's given them the confidence. And here's what I was going to say. Cam's had a good training camp. I know that for a fact. Yeah. And if it weren't for this little COVID blip here he had with the stupid misunderstanding and all that, he was really in a groove. Anybody you talk to, they will tell you Philadelphia, that week of practice, that game, he tore it up. He was really in a groove of having some of his best days putting it together. So, I think they're in a good spot with him, but we'll see. I mean, I think I will be shocked if Bill was Mac. I'm not going to lie. I mean, I'll be shocked. I just feel like he'll go with the veteran guy here to start the year.
In one way, maybe Bill was tipping his hand and telling all of us that nothing has really changed, even though Mac is playing well, that Cam didn't get off to statistically a great start, and he didn't leave him in there. He didn't say, God, let's give him a couple series to look good to lead him to a score. Maybe he's that confident in him already where he's like, Cam's my guy anyway.
Yeah.
Mac could come in and go 15 out of 15, and Cam Newton start in week 1.
I think so. I think that's what we're looking at, and he's going, wait, let's get Mac work.
Yep.
Because we know, Cam might go in a funk throwing the football like he did last year, and this guy's got to be ready to go.
Yeah.
We can't. We're not going 7-9 this year. So if 7-10, if that shit happens, they will make the move and do what they got to do. But I am expecting to see Cam week 1.
Over under, a little tease here. The Pats 9.5.
Ooh, we'll get there in a minute.
That's coming later. Any other Pats quarterbacks thoughts before we move to Chicago?
I think we hit it all. I don't think there was anything more to jump on it. Did we have the? I mean, you hit on the good throw. I mean, but I will say just Mac is phenomenal.
He's been
phenomenal.
terrific. Yeah, he's been great.
Just his feel in the pocket. The throws, everything. It's really amazing.
You know what he's been? I wrote down quick-minded.
Yes.
And it's something I always wanted to be and never was in the pocket there. But he knows what he's doing the second he gets that ball. I mean, he doesn't get caught holding it very often.
No, he does not.
Knows where it's supposed to go.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw, and I know you were traveling and everything, but let's see. It would have been in the I guess it was the Zuber 17-yard pass in the third quarter, right? It was a little seam route on the left side.
Okay.
That, to me, explains exactly what you're talking about.
Threw it behind him a little?
Threw it behind him. They got the touchdown.
Yes.
That one, right?
Yep.
Because he knew they were playing a defense where the outside corner was going to be responsible for coming in to steal the seam route, right? The outside receiver just ran 6 yards and a hitch. And they have an underneath coverage guy that's supposed to get out there, and then the corner has to get over to the seam. And this is the way they play cover 3.
Yeah.
He knew that. That's why he got the ball out quick, stopped him.
Right.
So, that cover corner is going to be banging out on you, but he can't break this ball up. I'll protect you with the throw. And then, of course, he gets in the end zone. And to me, that's where he's a little next level than the rest of these rookie quarterbacks.
And thinking about high level, I think it was on that play, and there were a couple of other ones too, Chris, where his nuance level in the pocket that we saw when we were watching him last spring really comes out. I think that was one of the plays. If you go back and watch really closely, the second he gets the snap, and most of us, you get the snap and you're already kind of looking to where you're going. The snap comes, your eyes are off the defense. He gets the snap, and while he's taking that step back, he's still looking at the defense.
Looking at
Brady does that well.
Right.
Not everybody does that, and he's doing that already.
Definitely.
And the second thing that makes me think of nuance is whether it's a 3-step or a 5-step or the occasional, every now and then there's a 7 where they're rolling out a little bit. The second he hits his last step, the ball's out.
Definitely. It's never a wasted motion, movement, anything.
So it's not just the decision that's good; it's the timing.
Definitely,
that's also there.
Definitely. Listen,
it's been fun to watch.
100%. And here's another aspect that he'll bring that even Brady didn't have this part. If he does get in and get in all that, Mac, people don't know this. New England didn't run bootlegs for 19 years because Brady can't run, so they couldn't run boots. They didn't run 3-step drop passing game. It was non-existent because Brady wasn't necessarily quick enough and twitchy enough to do those type of things. He's going to have that element of the offense too, which I think is going to be neat. They haven't really had that. Cam's not really that way either, to be like a 3-step guy.
Right.
He does do the bootlegs. We know that. But I think it's just another interesting aspect that Mac, he's a decent little athlete. And you said it. The way he moves in the pocket, when he knows, like, wait, there's somebody going to be open. I'm going to buy a little more time so this guy can get to where I know he's going to be open. Boom, hits him. Or just knowing, like, hey, I got the ball. This is the look. Here we go. Let me get it out of my hand. Boom.
Right.
I mean, he's got it both, which is special.
In the end, it's a lot of praise for the rookie Mac Jones, but a vote for Cam Newton.
I'm going Cam early on. Just knowing New England and that staff and their style, I'm going to err on that, but I think it is a very short leash for Cam Newton.
Okay, we have one more of these quarterback situations to run through where we ultimately want to get Chris to what he would do, and that's in Chicago. Andy Dalton, Justin Fields. It's felt the entire time, and Matt Nagy has basically said it, that it's going to be Andy Dalton, but he hasn't come out and just said, this is the guy, period, end of story. And Justin Fields has played well, and I thought he played really well, 7 out of 10. 54 yards, not a lot of yards, but he just looked good executing the offense and had a nice touchdown pass against Tennessee. How would you handle this one?
I would go with Fields from the get-go. I would.
And just 100% him.
Just 100%
It's your game.
Yes.
Go get it.
I would. I would just manage it, try to play through my defense, and do that type of stuff. We've hit on it. Listen, have I seen everything I need to see from Justin Fields? No, I haven't. As I've told you, I'm not going to change this. We have yet to see really a moment where he's got to stay in the pocket and step on the pedal and make an accurate throw. He's made a lot of nice throws. Again, I'm not trying to take it away from him, but a lot of them are just like, oh, here's the 10-yard out. He's open. Let me throw it in rhythm. Oh, here's the fade route. Let me just throw it in rhythm.
He's looked better in the shorter rhythm game than Lance in the same kind of situations.
He throws more appropriate balls and more catchable balls.
In that 10 yards and under,
yes.
I
mean, again, Lance, if you watch yesterday, every ball is a wobbler, hard knuckler.
Yeah.
And you could tell the receivers, even some of the catches yesterday, they have a hard time catching it. They catch it, and it's like, whoa, they fought that one. Good thing they brought it in. Yeah, Fields, the one thing I feel like has learned about his throwing motion is don't overthrow, and I can control the ball all the time. The problem is when we get into regular season football, you're going to have to overthrow sometimes. Like, the window's going to be tight. You're going to have to be like, okay, I got to put some elbow juice into this one and throw it in there. I haven't seen that, which I would like to see, but that's not an end-all, be-all for me. Yeah, I would still go with Fields, for my same reasons. Now, having said all that, they're going to go with Andy Dalton, and the way they called that game the other day, they made sure Justin Fields wasn't going to be the star of that game. They called very base offensive plays. He did a nice job, but it wasn't special. They weren't going to call, like, roll out, throw back left, and do that, so they had to hear it for the next 2 weeks about, you're stupid for starting Andy Dalton, start Justin Fields. I really thought I was watching the game live on Saturday night. I thought there was a concerted effort to just go, let's run our offense, but let's not do anything special for him so we don't have to hear this crap out there all the time and do that. I would start, my thoughts. I'm not going to change them. I mean, I think Justin Fields can handle it. The quarterback design runs. Everybody always talks about, Andy or Aaron Donald's going to be there, and Andy Dalton, he'll be able to get the ball out of his hand and do those things. Okay, maybe, yeah. I mean, yes, he's obviously got more of what the hell am I trying to say? Not a veteran presence, but he's been there, done that. Yeah, he's experienced. Thank you for the fucking word. I could not spit it out. He has more experience that way, so I understand that. But at the same time, I don't know if that necessarily on 3rd and 8 helps your offensive line either.
Right.
I don't know. Again, I've seen the offense. I think Fields is a special physical talent.
So would you? I mean, we just spent a lot of time talking about the fact that Kyle Shanahan just may very well go with both quarterbacks. If you start Andy Dalton, and I'm not going to throw this out there because I think it's a very unique situation what Cal might do with every series.
Right.
But would you give Justin Fields a couple, 3 series a game?
I do. Yeah, I would. I would give Justin Fields some series for sure. I would definitely have a package of plays for him as well to go in. I don't know if I don't think Matt Nagy can pull it off the way Shanahan does and all those type of things. I mean, again, I think Shanahan's pretty special. But, the Matt Nagy normal prototypical pocket passer type quarterback offense is not my cup of tea. I'm sorry. And that's where I go. Fields, I think, could really help the football team out. But I think ultimately, yeah, they're going to be too scared. I understand it. In L.A., season opener, they haven't had fans in that damn stadium yet, so this is going to be the first time and I'm sure that scares them. There's no doubt. I understand that thought process, but I would be one to just go. Let's do it, and let's manage him and play an ugly football game week 1.
Who do you think is a better running threat in the rookie quarterbacks between Fields and Lance?
Fields, for sure. Fields is special. Fields has another gear that Trey Lance does not have, let alone Fields is a bigger man altogether. I mean, Lance is fast. We know that. I've been underwhelmed by Lance's speed so far. I haven't gone, oh, wow, whoa, he turned the corner there. I go, yeah, he's fast. That's great. Fields, on a few runs, I've gone, whoa, I know it's second teamers, but he's the fastest guy in the field. Right, and he does it easy. It's not like he's out of control. He's kind of like 95% running 4.49 and like ready to cut or get out of bounds or do whatever. So that's where... yeah, he's been damn good. So I don't know if that's going to be another one where it's just going to be like, maybe it's going to be like the New England thing. Yeah, we start Andy Dalton. It's a real short leash.
Yeah.
If we get through a game and a half and it's week 2 against Cincinnati and we're 0-1 and we're not playing good in the second, third quarter against the Bengals, okay, maybe it starts Justin Fields. Here we go in the second half, that type of thing. I think that's maybe probably what we're going to see. I would go with Fields, though, and just start it. I would.
The one thing you would have in Chicago, the one thing you would open the door to if you are playing Fields a healthy amount during a game.
Yeah.
But starting Andy Dalton, that you would not have in San Francisco if both guys are playing, because Jimmy Garoppolo has a nice history of success there. People want him to be better. But there ought to be a pretty good trust in him.
Definitely.
Andy Dalton doesn't have that in Chicago yet.
Right.
They can't wait to get more Justin Fields. So if he comes in his series and does well, it's going to be insane.
I'm glad you cleared up, because there's differences here in these scenarios.
Yes,
and that is the difference right there. Garoppolo has cachet in his own locker room, his own organization, and certainly has a faction of the fan base that's still like, well, we still can win with this guy. Chicago, they're like, no. We've seen Andy Dalton. We've had enough.
Yeah.
He hasn't been our guy that's ever brought us to the promised land anyways, so we don't care about him. And we've been watching this guy on college football dominate the last few years. We'd like to start him. And it is a different scenario altogether, where I think there'll be, less give and take for Andy Dalton as compared to maybe Jimmy Garoppolo in his situation.
Justin Fields, 5.6 yards per attempt.
Yeah.
And that's per pass, correct, Pete? That's passing. So it's been conservative.
Very.
But, I mean, I'll point out, too, Fields was 7 out of 10. That's awfully good.
Yeah.
Even though they weren't like shots downfield, whereas Trey Lance was 6 out of 13.
Yeah.
Big difference.
Big difference. Justin Fields hasn't shown the power in his arm that Trey Lance has shown, but Justin Fields has not lost control of the ball in the preseason. He hasn't had a throw where I went, whoa, he lost that. That was almost a disaster. Trey Lance has had 3 or 4 throws in every game so far where I go, whoa. Yeah. Like, damn, he missed that. Or, whoa, that's not the appropriate pass there.
And it was consistent throughout August, whereas I think Fields, with that last performance against Tennessee, especially in that underneath game, that timing and rhythm passing game, he has the intangible of the last thing he did in that department was the best.
Yeah, no doubt.
Where Lance, it's been consistently like...
Yeah, exactly right. And nobody on the 49ers, I think, is going to be going, no player is going to be going, Lance has been amazing. We need to start him.
Right.
I guarantee people in the Bears locker room are going, why are we starting Andy Dalton?
Yeah.
I think it's a different thing. But Fields is just so much more in control of his body and the situation. Like, he's been very good at seeing the field, staying in the pocket. Oh, wait, it's time to get out of the pocket. And then when he gets out of the pocket, he has not looked to just run, just like his touchdown pass in the end of the first half of this game. Mm-hmm. He attacked the line of scrimmage. And when, no, you want to come up? Okay, I'll throw it.
Right.
But if you stay back, he'll run it. He's got a good feel for that. Justin Fields has been impressive so far.
Over-unders coming in the AFC momentarily. Quickly, Chris, I know you wanted to make a quick comment on the Denver situation, because between the last time we were on and right now, they have named Teddy Bridgewater the starter.
Right.
Your thoughts?
Well, I'm not shocked. I think we thought it might have been going that way. I'm a Drew Lock fan. I think Teddy will be on not a short leash, but not a long leash either. I think there's somewhere in between. But my point I wanted to say about that was this weekend showed to me why Teddy Bridgewater's the starter. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. He didn't do a lot of great. Drew Lock didn't either. But there wasn't one play where Teddy Bridgewater was even close to a disaster, a turnover, anything like that. Drew Lock had a play, maybe a second series, where he's in the pocket and he holds the ball for 9 seconds. And he gets strip sacked and fumbled, and there's a turnover. And that's where it happened. I went, that's why Vic Fangio's playing Teddy. He just knows how to play, has a little bit better feel.
Coach.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So we'll see where it goes. As I've always said, I do think Drew Lock can maximize that offense the most. But I understand Fangio and company being a little scared of Drew Lock, and especially after what they saw last year in person.
You said you're a fan. I don't know if I would so much, after listening to you define your feeling about him as a fan, as you believe in his potential.
Yeah, that's right. That would be the better way to say it. There is potential there. We got to see if he can capitalize on it. He had a good preseason and seems like he's going in the right direction. But, yeah, there's potential of him to maybe be something here sometime in the future. We'll see how it goes.
All right, we're all warmed up now.
Boom.
AFC over-unders. Pete, Kristen, let's take a peek at what the man did last year. He won. He was 10-6.
Boom.
10-6. Almost every season, that'll get you to the playoffs.
Damn.
We'll see what you do in January with 10-6.
Yes.
You had a playoff kind of season with the AFC over-unders last year.
Yep. So, man, I missed out on New England. I took the 10-6, I think, over there. Miami, I was wrong about that. That's for sure. I have no excuse, or I have nothing I can even say. Houston, yes, man, they shit the bed, so I wasn't totally expecting that. I thought we were going to see the typical 8-8 Houston, maybe gets in the playoffs, maybe doesn't. I went on the Denver thing last year, like you saw, we're kind of saying this year. Maybe I was a year too early there, either way. But, I missed those at the bottom. AFC West killed me. The Broncos, the Raiders, and the Chargers.
However, you hit for the cycle in the AFC North.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yep. Thank you. Yeah. So, we'll see. Let's see how this goes here.
Okay. AFC East.
You're making picks, too, here.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Buck up, Bart.
I got that note late from Pete. I'm like, hell yeah. I'm in for the picks. We begin with the Buffalo Bills, 11. Now, last season, they were 13-3. Over-under on wins for the Bills is 11. What do you got?
I don't think they're going to be 14-3 or 15-2 or 13-4.
Nice job with the 17
Thank
total,
you. I'm
the
getting
way.
there.
Yeah.
Now, I was that's another, Buffalo, I wasn't sure how they were going to play this year. I thought maybe they might try to be a little bit more balanced and all those type of things. What we saw the other day is what they're going to do. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Josh Allen in the shotgun. We're not taking the ball out of his hands. Deal with it.
Yeah.
And he was amazing. Yeah. Allen has reached Mahomes and Rodgers status, in my opinion.
That touchdown pass, you threw like 40
You're
yards
just kind of
in the air.
if your defense isn't great, he's going to beat you.
Right.
He's kind of that good.
Yeah.
I kind of
want me to start.
I want to pick the push right off the bat.
Is that an option? Do we have a limited number of pushes, Pete, we can pick?
He's not going to like that.
Yeah, I think that's a no. I'll take that as a no. Fair question.
I'll go with the over. I'm going to go with the over.
Yeah.
Okay? Yeah. I'm saying 12-5 over.
Okay.
All right? And for all those out there, I wouldn't be shocked if it's 11-6. First off, it's the AFC East. They're playing the NFC South and the AFC South. Right? We know the NFC South. I think that'll be a pain in the butt. But AFC South, you got the Colts and the Titans, and you got two other games you should win that way either way. But, again, still, I'd like to see a little more from their defense, and I still think it's hard just to rely on Josh Allen making magic all the time. He did it last year, but, they're playing a first-place schedule this year.
Yep.
And they got first two games of the year, Steelers, Dolphins, that'll be tough. So, yes, I'm still expecting, playoffs for the Bills, but I don't think it's going to be like number 1 seed or maybe number 2 seed this year.
To me, this was, as I looked through all of these, making a call on the Bills with the over-under 11 was as easy as a call there was on there. I take the over.
You're taking the over.
I don't think 13 was overachieving last year.
Right.
I think they were that good. They could be a little bit worse than that and hit 12, go 12-5.
Right.
So I didn't spend too much time thinking about this one. I think it's not only 11. I would put them back at 13 again this year.
I guess here, I said the NFC South, and of course the AFC East is good. The Dolphins Dolphins and Patriots, I think, will both be. Dolphins will be just as good as last year, if not better. I think the Patriots will be better.
Yeah.
So I guess that's where, again, like I said, I was on that 11-12 right there. I don't think it's going to be 15-2 or 14-3. I think you do have a few extra losses this year. But, okay, we're both going over. You're going over easy. I'm
Pretty
going
easily,
over / I want to maybe say the push, but I don't want to be called a chicken.
Right out of the gate, we have a couple of overs, and my feeling is we're going to have two more here coming up. Miami, 9.5. The little hook there to make you think a little more. 9.5. They were 10-6 last year. You going over or under for the Dolphins?
I'm going to go over here too. I am. Now I don't think it's going to be a far over. I'm not gonna say that either quite yet. Again, they're gonna be a little bit more of a marked man this year. You don't have Fitzpatrick to come in and save the day. Tua, I would think, is going to hit a few bumps here and there. It's been great so far. I'm not trying to say anything like that. But they're not going to catch people by surprise this year, I guess is what I'm saying altogether. So I'm expecting like that, maybe a 10-7, maybe 11-6 type year. But again, they were 1-1 against the Pats last year. The Pats are, again, they're going to be good. It's a tough schedule to start the year too, with the Patriots, Bills, Raiders, and Colts, and then the Bucs in Week 5. That's where I get a little scared that they might get off to a bumpy start and then really have to fight their way back into the conversation here a little bit. But I'm going to go over by just barely here.
I've got over by just a little bit too. And my thinking there is the number one, just like you just said, Tua is going to have some bumps. I don't think either one of us are wholly sold, although he's been much better.
Definitely.
So that there's reason to believe he'll be better. I think the offense around him will be better this year.
Agree, right.
And the defense should be really, really damn good.
Should be really, really damn good.
So, 10 wins is pretty easy for me to picture there in Miami.
Yeah.
Okay, Patriots, 9.5. This is another one that I thought was pretty my feeling right away was
easy.
One of heck. Yeah.
I'm with you.
Was
I'm
the
going
over.
too. I'm going over too. I don't know if it's going to be way over, but I just – in an extra game season, 9.5 wins. First off, the Patriots, the defense is going to be, I think, maybe the best in football. If you made me say I'm going to go, Patriots are going to be one of the 2 or 3 best defenses in football. I don't care if Stephon Gilmore's back or not. They got enough secondary guys. Their front seven is going to be a different animal than what we've seen in the last few years. So there's that aspect of it. And then, it's the quarterback conversation is, again, maybe what we're talking about here and everything like that. But, yes, I just think the football team as a whole is too damn good.
Yeah.
And I got too much faith in Bill and Josh and, Gerard Mayo and Steven Belichick on the defensive side and all those type of things that, yes, I'm going with the over here. And I'm think New England will probably get in the playoffs.
I'm going over with all caps here. I'm not a betting man. If I was, this is the one of the 16 teams. This is the one I like the best.
The best, yeah.
I can easily see the Patriots winning 11, 12 games.
Definitely. I could too. I could. It's really just about, can Cam get in a groove or whoever the quarterback get a groove to where I go, okay, if they don't get in a groove, it's going to be 9 or 10 wins.
Yeah,
if they get in a groove, it could be 12 or 13 wins.
He can't be as bad as he was last year.
No, he cannot.
And if he is in September, they're going to go with Mac Jones.
He'll be gone.
Right?
Yes. No doubt about it. Yes.
One left in the AFC East. Jets at 6. They were only 2-14
Somebody
last
was
year.
Smoking crack on this
This is
line.
a nice jump up for them to expect 6.
No.
What do you say?
Under all the way.
Double nose here, 2 unders,
I mean, just first off, the Jets I love Zach Wilson, but this is, again, it's a team sport. I just want to let everybody know it's not just one guy winning the damn game all the time. They have a ton of injuries. They're trying to infuse a new culture, but nobody's been bitten by the injury bug more than the Jets through training camp. Shaq Lawson, gone. Jared Davis, gone. We got some questions in the secondary. Okay. Sheldon Rankins, who's coming off an injury, he's been a little bit banged up. Mekhi Becton, he's been dealing with injuries. Elijah Vera Tucker hasn't done much. He has an injury. Then you got a rookie quarterback and a whole new thing like that, and you're in the AFC East. To me, anything above 2 or 3 wins is actually kind of good for the Jets this year.
4 wins is massive improvement.
I know it's
Who
double.
Who came up with 6?
I don't know. And and again, when again, I'm huge on early season schedules. But Panthers, Patriots, Broncos, Titans, the first 4 games of the year. The Jets are not as good as any of those 4 teams. They're not. Maybe they could steal a game. I don't know. But I'm just telling you, I think from what I've seen, especially from Carolina and all that, yes, I don't think they're as good as any of those teams. Then they get the Falcons in the bye, and then they got Patriots, okay, and then they got Bengals. But then they go Colts, Bills, Dolphins. I just think it's too tough of a road for a young football team early on to where man, they through 5 weeks, if they can be 2-3, that'll be a huge positive.
Yeah.
I'm expecting probably to be 1-4 realistically. Yeah.
So just to make it clear, you still feel good about Zach Wilson.
Definitely.
Think the team's moving in the right direction.
Yep.
But going from 2 wins to 6 is just it's a little rich.
It's a little rich, and then with the injuries and all of that too, and the state of their division, it's just tough. That's right. And the NFL's doing them no favors either. Yeah, for a team like this, they need a few early season wins to build a little confidence and, okay, we can do this. Not only the players, the coaches, all that type of stuff. But don't get it f***ed up here. Zach Wilson's been the best quarterback in the preseason of the rookies, and he's been a baller. And I'm expecting good things, and I don't think they'll put too much on his shoulders either. They're going to play this the right way. And I do one thing they've been is very patient with the run. Saleh, Mike LaFleur, they're going to run the ball. And not Joe Burrow, Zach Wilson, as I've said about Trevor Lawrence, but I don't want him to get Joe Burrowed either.
AFC North. I don't want to hex you here. I really don't want to hex you. I'm going to remind everybody you went 4-0.
4-0.
4-0 in this division last year. Ravens up first last year. They were 11-5. Over under 11.5. The half is big here for me.
I'm going under with the Ravens. I think this is – I'm going – listen, Ravens I still look at as a playoff football team. I'm expecting a little bit of a drop from the Ravens this year.
More offensively or defensively?
Offensively, I don't know if it'll be that great. I guess here's my thing offensively. I got to see it to believe it in the pass game that it'll really take off, And again, that's not on Lamar Jackson. That to me is on Greg Roman, what they can do around him in the pass game to make it better, okay? Yeah, I know Lamar's not perfect. He's not Josh Allen or Mahomes or anything like that, but he's still awesome. The defense is I really worry about them a little bit. And like Wink Martindale's an amazing defensive coordinator. My biggest issue with them is this, Paul. They don't have anybody that can rush the passer. And you can't beat the Chiefs if you're going to have to blitz. I mean, Mahomes you're going to leave guys one-on-one and he's going to float away from the blitz and you're going to be able to cover some of those guys in the Chiefs for 4 and 5 seconds? No. That's why they can't beat them. It's a tough matchup for them. And that's where I think it's coming to an end for Calais Campbell. Brandon Williams isn't quite as stout as he used to be. They got the away kid who they drafted in the first round who certainly looks like a good athlete, but I don't think he's going to be like a big-time pass rusher yet. So, yeah, I think, again, really good football team, but I'm expecting maybe 11-6, 10-7, maybe like that.
Yeah, 10 or 11 wins. Still a very good season,
yes.
but maybe not up to their standard.
Right.
I was really hoping this would be the one, and I wrote these all out before. I'm keeping track here what Chris is saying, but I had these all written out. We haven't disagreed yet.
Yeah.
I thought this was going to be the first one. I thought you'd have the Ravens.
I'd go over?
I thought you would go over here.
No, Pete will tell you, I've sent him a lot of text messages about the Baltimore front and how it has not popped to me at all through preseason.
How
and
major
that would bother
is the Dobbins injury for you?
Oh, well, it's like Gus Edwards is awesome. I love him. But where Dobbins is special is he's a home run hitter. And you can't replace home run hitters. Like you can't replace a guy that can go around the edge for 60 and get a touchdown on one play. There's great value in that stat, and there's really no stat that can really quantify that altogether.
Especially the kind of runs they can do there with Lamar at quarterback.
They can open the field up.
Yeah.
He's made for that. But Gus Edwards is going to be good.
Sure.
He can get 20 and 30 and a lot of great 5s and 10s, but he's not going to go for 70 down the sideline. Dobbins has game-breaking 4.3 type speed, and that's where it stinks for them.
All right, Cleveland. The over-under for the Cleveland Browns is 10.5, another hook there. Last year they were 11-5. You taking more than that or less?
I'm going more.
Damn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I am. I mean, it just, listen, I mean, the only thing that stops me at all with Cleveland is just going, it's Cleveland. Are they going to mess this up? Because, we're kind of, prone to that, thought. But I don't see that with this group. And
once you get past that.
Exactly.
Right? And I thought about that with the Jets, too. I'm like, am I just doing this because it's the Jets?
No, you were good.
There are more
with
real reasons.
Yeah, right.
Same thing with Cleveland. I almost had it pull me back. I'm like, it's the Browns. Come on now. But really, I mean, what's the weakness? If someone were to call you up and say, God, you really screwed up by not taking the under with the Browns, what's the argument to think that they won't win 11 games?
I don't have one for you.
Besides the history.
Yeah, I mean, there's not one. The Browns are one of the most perfectly built teams in football. Let alone they ended off on a good year last year, going in the right direction. They're really built perfectly for the scheme they play. Some of the questions we had on defense, a little more speed at linebacker. Okay, they got Anthony Walker. They got Owusu Karamoa. They need a safety because they play the Seattle scheme. They got John Johnson. Oh, okay. And then, Greg Newsome at corner, who's a long Richard Sherman type of corner that fits that scheme. And, of course, Denzel Ward, when he's healthy, he's one of the better corners in football. Can Clowney stay healthy?
Yeah.
Those are
That's
things
a fair
maybe.
question.
Those are maybe the things.
Yeah.
Like Clowney and Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett always seems to miss a few games every year, too. Those are maybe the only things I look at. Like, just the injury bug can screw them.
What about your belief level in Maker? I'm sorry.
Maker?
In
Maker
in the leader house. He is
Maker
in
Bayfield.
the leader house
Yeah.
to win more than 11 games. But I think if someone if someone took the under here for Cleveland, they'd raise their hand and say, still not totally sold on Baker Mayfield.
Yeah.
I am
too.
You are as well.
Yeah, definitely. Just the last 5, 6, 7 games of the year were too special last year. And even, again, I wish they would have played their starters a little bit more in the preseason, but the way he looked last night, Sunday Night Football against the Falcons, I know it was 2 drives, but the damn touchdown throw is what I saw consistently at the end of the year last year.
Yeah.
Oh, somebody in my face, so what? That guy's open by half an inch. I'm going to throw it in there, and I'll get it in. Perfect throw.
Yeah.
Touchdown. I just – and I feel like he exudes confidence, and they feel it, and they know what they're doing, and I know where to go with the ball, and the Czech's second year in the same offense finally.
Yeah, even when he shouldn't have, he still had that feeling.
I know.
And now that he should,
right.
I mean, he's got it times
justified
10.
this time.
Yeah.
Right.
I just love the synergy with Baker and Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Get the feeling that's really moving in the right direction.
I look at them with, like, Kansas City week 1, we know is going to be a beast. And Kansas City's played their starters a lot. They know that they're marked man, and Cleveland's coming for their ass because they're mad at that playoff loss.
Yeah.
But, like, then after that game, they might lose to Kansas City. We know that. Texans, Bears, Vikings, Chargers, Cardinals, Broncos. Listen, it's the NFL. I know nothing's easy there, but they are better than all of those teams. All of them. Texans, Bears, Vikings, no doubt about it. Chargers are one of those teams that we know has talent. We'll see where it goes and all those type of things. But I have no problem saying they're better than Arizona and Denver at this point, too, to where I can't envision them getting off to too slow of a start here.
Right.
Yeah.
Steelers, another surprising number for me, 8.5. Last year they were 12-4. I think, more than any number, the fact that they finished so poorly last year is still on people's minds.
Yeah.
But the Steelers at 8.5. What do you think?
I'm going to go over here, too.
I did as well.
I mean, the defense is still really good. I'd like to see what happens with T.J. Watt in this contract situation. Are they going to get him out here soon, and are they going to get this deal done? But, you got Devin Bush back, a middle linebacker. They traded for Schobert. Secondary, the scheme is creative. You got one of the best safeties in Minkah Fitzpatrick. We know the D-line's good to go along with. And it seems like they're going to try to do what we talked about on the offensive side of the ball. I did a little thing last night, just again about Big Ben and the Pittsburgh. Like, we can't be predictable and throw the ball every play and then be doubly predictable and go, we're going to throw the ball right here in this spot every play. Like, that can't happen. We've seen that there's definitely a change in mantra there. They're going to try to run the ball. I hope they protect him like Bucs did with Brady last year a little bit more. Let him drop back sometimes and just go, man, Claypool's one-on-one. Deontay Johnson's one-on-one. If he's off, run a comeback. If he presses you, run a go. I'll hit you.
Right.
It doesn't need to always be so complicated. So I'm not going to say that they're going to be 12-5 or 13-4, but I certainly think they get over the 8.5. Yeah.
The Steelers being at 8.5 to be exactly 500. I know you can't be exactly 500 anymore, but people out there are saying that's what they are. This is a 500 team. Do you think that's because of Ben Roethlisberger? And people doubting him a little bit right now?
Yeah, I do. I think it's because of that and what you said to start it off, the taste they left in everybody's mouth last year.
Yeah.
First off, and the O-line to Pete was saying. Like, it's all but like Mike Tomlin's too smart. He knows he can't do that to Big Ben again. That's why they drafted Najee Harris. That's why they drafted some of these offensive linemen. It's going to be a different look, a different style of play. And Big Ben, arm is still top notch. I saw enough throws just in that Lions game 2 weeks ago to go, there's laser beams. And then he had a play where he moved around like old Big Ben. Like, when he did that, I literally almost fell off my chair. I was like, wait, he ran to the left and reversed right and went over there?
Yeah.
I haven't seen him do that in like 4 years.
Been a while. Yeah.
Right. So, I don't sleep on this Steelers team. Too many alphas. Too much of a great leader in Mike Tomlin. I'm going over here all the way.
One more team in the AFC North, the Bengals, 6.5. Last year they won 4 games. They were 4-11-1.
Under.
6.5.
Under.
You got the under?
It's like, again, whoever did this line was smoking crack with the Jets guy.
I thought this one was pretty easy, too, for the under.
I mean, what Joe Burrow, I mean, Jamar Chase, the way that's looked, I don't even want to get on the Jamar Chase thing, but yes, I mean, the way that's looked, and Joe Burrow, listen, I still think it's weird that they took him out after 3 plays. They didn't let him play third down in the preseason game. They took him off the field on second down for 1 series. Really? He couldn't even play the third play? He ran 3 plays, one of which was a penalty, and they took him off the field, Paul. That was just weird to me. Just weird. I got to see that one to believe it.
Yeah.
On both sides of the ball.
And I would like to.
Yes, I would too.
Burrow fan.
Me too.
Right?
Yeah, but I don't see it happening this year in that division.
Yeah.
Exactly, And the one thing we'll say about the AFC North, they got, let me make sure I got this right. The NFC North, which I don't think real highly of that division. Yeah. We know Green Bay's real. The other ones I think are all kind of questionable. They got the AFC West, which is good, but I'm not going to sit here and say it's great yet. We know there's one great team.
Yeah.
And then there's some potential for the Chargers and Broncos maybe to be something. We'll see. But again, I got to see that to believe it too.
Right.
So, yeah, I think the other 3 teams in the division are legit playoff contenders, and I think the Bengals are contending for a top 5 draft pick next year.
I just took a picture of my original list of over-unders because we're 8 for 8.
We're
the
8 for 8
exact same
now.
damn thing now. So just so I can send it to Pete and say I had this picked before.
We believe
before
you.
I heard Chris and whatever picks he has.
I mean, I don't think the only one I had any. I think the only one that I had the Bills one where I was just a little bit like on the push, maybe barely over.
Yeah.
I think the other ones are to me are fairly obvious, and I think you kind of feel the same way too.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, AFC South, Tennessee, another one that for me was kind of easy. 9. Team was 11-5 last year. I know they lost some weapons offensively.
Yeah.
But the Titans with 9 wins. What do you say?
I'm going over too.
Yeah.
Yeah. New offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Todd Downing.
Yeah.
Certainly want to see that. I just have such great faith in Vrabel. He understands how to manage games. He just got a toughness about him that kind of permeates through the rest of the football
the players
team.
love it.
Yes, exactly right. Will they maybe not be able to run the ball as dominantly? I don't know. We'll see. But they got Julio Jones now, too. So that's going to open the field up as well. And Tannehill's really damn good. Everybody's got to realize that again. I think they made the appropriate moves on the defensive side of the ball, too. First off, they got 3 rookies who, to me, have, popped.
Which 3 of those?
Caleb Farley.
Yep.
I mean, it's been 2 games, and it hasn't been perfect. But again, I'm going on the look.
Yeah.
The athleticism, the explosion is the real deal.
Yeah.
Then they got Elijah Molden, who is like a nickel safety type guy, and then I think even Honey Badger made a quote about him on social media 2 weeks ago. He really pops when you watch him. Rashad Weaver, their 4th round pick, pops. But last year their issues were secondary and things like that. They got Caleb Farley. They got Janoris Jenkins, who I would tell you last year was I would say was the best corner on the Saints for the majority of the year. He was phenomenal. So that's where I looked at them to be a little bit different team. You get Bud Dupree, who should be healthy at least sometime in the first 5 or 6 weeks. And I'm going over with them.
Colts, same number, 9. They were 11-5 last year. I think the Colts are more than 9 wins or less.
I'm like,
this is a tough one for you?
It is. I'm a little. Here's the first thing.
Okay.
Yeah, Wentz hasn't played.
Right.
It's a new team. All of those. Okay, I don't like that. Their first 5 games are maybe as hard as anybody in football. That scares me. I know they're good. I do. They're a tough one for me. And you said it's 9, right?
It's 9. Yeah.
I mean, it's right there for me. I want to say 9-8, 8-9. Somewhere in there. I don't know what it is. You mentioned the schedule. Those first 5 games, why you still consider it. Seahawks, Rams, at the Titans, at the Dolphins, at the Ravens. And then you get the Texans, and then you're at the 49ers and then the Titans. I mean, 7 out of the first 8 games are just killers. I don't know why. I'm a little down on it.
Yeah.
I think just because of that, T.Y.'s hurt. Who's going to be the other big weapon on offense? I like Frank Reich. I know he has a lot of creativity. Can they dominate in the run game? I mean, yes, I know they got a good O-line, but Quentin Nelson's hurt. There's still who's the left tackle is a new thing here or there for them. And my other thing is about them, too, is defense, they're good. They need one more stud to pop, though. You know, really, really good defenses have more than 2 studs. Like, they have Buckner and Darius Leonard. If you want to be like top 5, oh, you're a pain in the ass type defense, from history, in my opinion, you usually have to have another player or 2 to kind of throw in there. Kwity Paye has really popped and shown me something. But I'm down on the Colts. So I guess I'm gonna go. Gosh, I really want to go the fucking push here, Pete. This is where I want to go.
Pete is not allowing you a push.
I'll go under.
I went under as well.
8-9.
I went under as well.
Okay.
And it's one of those things. It was kind of like
It's hard.
The Cincinnati one with me, where I would like to see them be better than that.
Right.
Like Frank Reich. I mean, how do you not pull for that? And I would like Carson Wentz to be good for an entire season.
Yeah.
But then the more I thought about it, to put them at that point is to ignore the injury situation with Carson a bit, and to what he has been the last couple of seasons with the turnovers. Yeah. And I also think it's a little bit disrespectful in a tiny little way that Phillip Rivers was pretty good last year.
Sure.
He did a nice job. And are they going to get the same kind of quarterback play from September through early January that they got last year when they won 11 games? I'm going to say not quite as good.
Yeah.
So that was my reason for going under.
I think it makes sense. And then you add that to the schedule we just talked about. I mean, hey, listen, I mean, it's, little slip up here, and they could be going, whoa. I mean, we're 2-4. We're 3-5 here to start the year. Those type of things, and I don't know why, but I just feel like I can envision that happening.
Right there with you.
There's a lot of things to like about the football team. I guess they're a little bit more like I'd like to see a little more evidence. I'm not going to trust it to pick it right now.
Right. 6 games left to have some kind of difference here in the over/under. Houston 4. They were 4-12 last year. Number set at 4 again this year.
Yeah, under. I'm going under. A disaster. I just don't.
How could you talk yourself into the over?
I don't know either. Exactly right. There's no way I can. The defense has got nothing to offer. I mean, yeah, I don't. I just no real legit playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. What are they? I mean, are they going to be a dominant run team? They're not going to be a dominant pass team. I mean, the Watson issue, all of that. Like, trouble. Yeah, I see 3-14, new head coach, of course, new GM, all of that. 3 what the hell is that? 3-14.
3-14 would be it. Yeah. I knew all that math was going to pay off at some point with the 17. Jacksonville, they were 1-15 last year.
What is their set at?
6.
That's way too high.
So if they are 7-10, they go 7-10. You win with the over.
Yeah, I'm not doing that though. I'm going under.
Ding, 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 ding. I took over.
Yeah, you took over?
I took the over.
Ooh.
I think I had just watched the Trevor Lawrence highlights from the Cowboys game.
You were affected.
Or he just looked like a Friday 7-on-7.
I know.
That was a little too fresh in my mind, but I could see 7-10.
He played great in the game the other day.
He really did.
Yeah, I mean it was just exactly what he needed. The team needed a little bit. They needed a little positive mojo from their first team offense. And man, did he make some great throws in that football game. So, yeah. Yep. So, Paul, you got the nice early schedule to get them going a little bit.
Texans, Broncos, Cardinals, Bengals.
You got it. I mean, they got a chance to maybe, upset some people.
Break out the Jags.
No doubt.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under, though. I just don't trust it yet. And then, listen, I'm not saying this is a big picture thing either. Like, I think I have faith in Urban Meyer to do this whole thing.
Yeah.
And obviously you do, too, if you're going 7-10 out of the gate.
Yep.
I said this to my dad the other day. I said, Urban Meyer, to me, it's more Jimmy Johnson than like Nick Saban or something like that.
Because?
He's not quite the micromanager they are. He's more of the Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson overseer. I know how to communicate and motivate. I don't know what this play called, but we got to attack this area. This corner's not good. We need to abuse him. We can't block this. We got to run these protections this week. To me, that's where I think he's going to be good. And that's what Jimmy Johnson was. It wasn't like he was calling the defensive plays or offensive plays, but all week he was going, defense, we can't run that. They'll kill us if we do that, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You need to fix that. Offense, well, that play's not going to work. Let's do this and this and this. Not necessarily knowing what, the X's and O's are, but knowing where to attack a team. I think that's what Urban Meyer is. They're on the right track. I'm going to go under.
You mentioned Jimmy Johnson, made me think immediately about what Troy Aikman has said about him a number of times. Like, initially when he came in his rookie season, the practices were so difficult.
Yeah.
The intensity level and the expectations so high that it was tough right away.
Right.
But the team needed that. The team desperately needed it, and when he left, and people exhaled a little bit. Practices were a little bit easier. Guys weren't held accountable quite as much. I think Troy still resents that time, resents that change in atmosphere of the practice. And if Urban's bringing that change in the right way, in the more difficult way, then I can see those 7 wins.
I think he will. I mean, that's what Urban is. There's a reason Bill Belichick loves Urban Meyer players.
True.
It's football.
Yeah.
They're tough. They're all in. He knows he's coached them tough and physically at practice every day. So where they come to New England, they're not going to be like, oh, my gosh, we're hitting so much, and we're on the practice field so long. This isn't nice. He knows they're going to be ready.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons he takes Saban, Urban Meyer, and Greg Schiano players.
Yeah.
He knows they're coached like pros in practice. Yeah, I'm a believer in Urban. I just don't know if it happens this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
One division left.
All right, we're off.
AFC
One
West.
off. We're one off.
We're one off, finally.
Yeah.
Yes. The Chiefs. I think we might be off on this one as well. Over under 12.5. They were 14-2 last year. So to take the over, you're thinking they're 13-4, which recently would be kind of a routine kind of year.
I know.
12.5.
I know. Hold on, I'm going to pull up their schedule just to bring up my talking points here. I'm going to go over.
Okay. We got 2 in a row differing.
Barely over, though. I don't look at it and go, like, again, hey, it's hard when you're the marked man for, what is this going to be, the 4th year in a row, basically. Long seasons, all of those type of things. Got to play the NFC East and the AFC North.
Yep.
Maybe the 2 best divisions in football. Or not the 2 best. The AFC North is. NFC East, nah, I don't know about that. I don't know why I said that. That was wrong. But I could see a letdown, but I'm so impressed with what they did this offseason. All right? I really am with, the drafting of Creed Humphrey, Joe Tooney at guard, getting Orlando Brown in the trade. I mean, they transformed. They're starting their rookie, from Tennessee, right? Is it Wyatt Davis? I get some of my rookie guards mixed up. They're starting him at right guard, Lucas Niang at right tackle.
Yep.
Like, they're going to be able to protect him and impose their physical will. Defense, we've talked about. Like, listen, I love Spags. Getting Jerron Reed, to me, was one of the under-the-radar great signings. Creed Humphrey, but who's the right guard? Is that – oh, it's Trey Smith. That's it. That's the Tennessee guy. There we go. Sorry. I'm getting him, and I think Wyatt Davis is the Illinois guy. I'm trying to remember my million of players in my head. But, I love that aspect. Your bread and butter's Mahomes. You're going to stop that. Can they get a run game? Can they – to me, the big thing with Kansas City, can they get something to bring the defense up?
Yeah.
Can they do something that way? See, Buffalo can throw the ball every play because they have enough of a short passing game and all the New England screens where they can go, you got to come up and defend these.
Yeah.
Oh, and now we can throw Stephon Diggs. What worries me about Kansas City is just it's always deep. And some of these defenses are just going to go, well, we're going to play deep too.
Yeah.
And what are you going to do to bring us up?
Right.
That scares me a little bit. I'm going to guess Andy's got something for that. I'm hoping.
Yeah.
But I'm going over, but just
over.
barely.
Okay.
I don't think this is like a 15-2,
Sure.
14-3 type year.
Like a 13-4 kind of year.
Yeah, I really against another one where I'd like to go the push and go. I think they're going to be 12-5.
I'm hitting the under for a couple of reasons here,
Yeah.
Chris. I buy into what you're saying, and if you want to say, like, I wouldn't argue against somebody who said that the Chiefs are going to win the Super Bowl. Like that's not outlandish at all. But I think they're going to lose Week 1. I think the Browns are going to get them.
They match up good with them. The only thing that makes me scared there is the Browns haven't played enough of their starters. That's my one
fair.
thing where I just want to go, Kansas City's going to be ready to play.
Yeah.
Browns are going to kind of be like, oh, this is our first game, and like that's the only thing but
Fair
your
enough.
point's right. I mean, I hear you too.
That's number one for me. Number two, they have been dominating at a level offensively in that division so much. Those other 3 defenses that are pretty good. Broncos.
I know.
You can see
Chargers
the Raiders and Chargers being a lot better.
Yeah.
That had to be an offseason priority in those meeting rooms, is to be better against that Chiefs offense.
Definitely.
And I think that'll cost them a game or two. I don't think it'll cost them the division.
Sure.
But cost them a game or two.
I get that.
To me, 12-5 makes a lot of sense for that team.
Yeah.
With a real promising January coming up. But I just didn't feel good about going 13.
Yeah. So you're 12 was it?
It's 12.5.
12.5.
I think they'll be 12-5.
Ooh.
So I'm taking the under.
Damn, yeah.
The-
I did. You know, I
as the
didn't
push
know.
not
I
available.
forgot about the half there. Maybe I should have gone the under
hook.
too.
The hook. It got you. Okay. We'll keep
Hold
an eye on
Let
that
me just
one.
look at that a little more.
Yeah. We are considering
It's
the
a
under
really
here.
tough one. I'm really. I mean, to me, it is that 12 or 13 wins.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to go under too.
All
I'm
right.
going to join you in 12ville.
Yep.
I
Biggest reason?
That's where I was. I don't know why. I thought 12 was the over/under in that one, so I chickened out. I thought it was a push. I didn't want to do that.
Maybe I didn't emphasize the half there.
No,
the
I
initial,
probably
the
didn't
tee-up.
listen to you. I just went,
What?
what? Who's that guy?
Tired of this guy. White noise over there from that side of the table.
But you know, this is my point. When I've said the NFC East, here's what I wanted to get to a little bit. The one thing that I think will be interesting with the NFC East, we know the Washington D is real.
Yeah.
So that's not going to be necessarily easy. And the Giants, it's a New England scheme. So even though they might not be like the big blue 1986 wrecking crew or anything like that, they're going to have schematically some stuff that can give them some issues altogether. I mean, the start of their schedule is pretty tough. Yeah, I mean, the Chiefs are the man. Mahomes looked really awesome throwing the football the other night.
Yes, he did.
I still don't think he looks totally normal running. I'm going to continue to watch that.
Okay.
You know, I really am. But, okay, I'm with you. I'm going 12 too.
Okay.
Just barely under.
2 unders on the Chiefs.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Chargers 9.5. The hook.
Yeah.
The half is there.
Thank you.
9.5 wins for the Chargers. They were 7-9 last year. They were a promising, competitive, fun watch last year, but they were only 7-9.
I'm going to go the under.
As did I.
You did too.
Yeah.
I just
Wanted
can't give
to
them
go
10.
over.
I know. I do too.
Yeah. I think it's going to be, I can see 8 real easily. I could see 9. But it's that hook. It's going to be fun to watch. Love Herbert. But I couldn't pencil him in for 10.
I'm with you. You know, again, health on the defensive side of the ball, totally new scheme with, Brandon Staley and him implementing that. I guess, where's the run game at? Will they have a legitimate one?
Yeah.
I don't know. They changed their offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
With Joe Lombardi. To me, that was one of the lesser moves I don't know why they let
Yeah.
Shane Steichen go. I know Herbert's the man. There's no doubt about that. But, yeah, I'm with you.
How about the Chargers' history of, being close?
Yeah.
Like, losing in an exciting
I just
and
think of
dramatic
them with
way.
the new coaching staff and all that stuff, too. It's just like they're going to have to learn their way a little bit.
Yeah.
They'll probably lose a game or two where you go, oh, they should have won that. They outplayed that team and they lost.
But,
yeah, exactly right.
Yeah.
I guess that's just a little bit the way I feel about them. Again, I know they were 7-9 last year and blew some games and did things like that, and Herbert was really awesome and all that. But again, I guess I have a little bit of the feel of they're not going to sneak up on everybody this year that way. It is a tough schedule. I look at their start with you go Washington, okay, Dallas in week 2. We know they can win that. Chiefs, Raiders. Here we go. Chiefs, Raiders, Browns, Ravens. I mean, the Cowboys are the only team I can sit there and go, they're better than them.
Yeah.
The Raiders, they're every bit as good, if not equal, maybe a little bit better. But, I mean, I could see them starting out 2-4.
Yeah.
2-5 with the Patriots week 8.
Yeah.
And it'd be close every game, but they don't pull it out. I don't know. There's just something about them I got to see a little bit more to really say, okay, over, playoffs, let's do it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, to win on the over, it has to be double-digit wins for the Chargers. And I think you can believe in where they're going and really like Herbert and think that the coach is moving in the right direction, but still say, that's a little bit too much, and we're both down on the same side there.
Yeah.
All right, Broncos. 5-11 last year.
Yeah.
8.5. There's some belief in Vegas in the Broncos. 8.5 wins.
They're right on it for me. Broncos are one of those teams that I'm on the fence about. Do I pick them to go to the playoffs or not? The Chargers are a little bit the same thing. Ultimately, I don't think I'm going to pick Denver to go to the playoffs.
Yeah.
I don't.
I could talk you into this one, the way I feel about it.
I'm going to go under.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 8. I think it's going to be 8-9. Right? It was 8.5 as the hook there?
8.5? Yeah.
I'm going to go there 8-9.
Yeah.
Something like that. Maybe 7-10.
I would have taken the under even if it was 7.5.
You would have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Defense is good. I mean, the Teddy Bridgewater thing last year in Carolina was just so average to me.
I get you. I know. We're going to see where that goes. That's, to me, the $1 million question. Can he take advantage of all these weapons they have there?
Right. I don't think they're going to stink, but I'm not going to pick them to win 9 games.
Yeah, I know. It's very easy schedule early. I mean, yeah, that Giants game, that's going to be a huge game for both teams because they're both going to be like really hungry to get off the schneid, get off to a good start, all of that type of things. But yeah, they're better than the Jaguars and the Jets, certainly. Life gets harder after that. I do think they might have a little bit more of a run game this year. I mean, hey, Melvin Gordon looked really good the other night. I mean, really good. Along with the guy they drafted out of North Carolina, and Javonte Williams in the second round. So they could have that aspect.
It could be all right.
But, we said it. The defense is good, but how good? I just don't know yet. I want to think they're going to be really good with Chubb and Von Miller back.
Yeah.
Got Kyle Fuller in the secondary. Surtain looks awesome. Kareem Jackson at safety. There's a lot to like.
Right.
But here's what I always go back to with Denver a little bit. The interior part of their defense, I think, scares me a little. Who's the guy you talk about? Middle linebackers are solid, defensive tackles are solid, but nothing great that way. And like you said, with the Teddy Bridgewater, all of that, I guess I'm just a hair down on it. So I'm going to go with the under.
One final team.
Yep.
One last time.
Raiders.
The Raiders. So 500 last year. I mean, they were the epitome of just right there. 8-8. 7. Only 7. Not even a hook.
I think the AFC West has been the toughest over-unders because it's to me, they're right on where I want to pick them. Not that I feel like I'm going to say what I want to say about the Raiders. The Raiders aren't going to the playoffs, all right? I just don't know if they're going to be 8-9 or 7-10 or 6-11.
There you are.
I'm just not sure where they're going to be. So that's where I'm in between on. But again, my first point is just okay, defense will be better because Gus Bradley's a good defensive coach, but there's just not enough good players on it. So I don't know how good it can really be.
Yeah.
Change your offensive line, which, listen, Gruden's no idiot. He's got some guys there that are going to be good. I think they're still going to be admirable. But I got to see Henry Ruggs. I got to see him take the next step, do those type of things. They have an incredibly tough schedule. Pete just got in my ear and said it's the toughest schedule in football.
Is it really?
Yes.
How'd that happen with an 8-8?
If you go by Vegas win totals, Pete says it's the toughest there is. Now, when you look at it and go Ravens, Steelers, Dolphins, Chargers, they could easily start out 0-4. Easily. Yeah. They got the Bears, Broncos, and Eagles, got a little stretch there to rebound. But then you get towards the end of the year, and I look at Washington, Kansas City, Cleveland, Denver, the Colts, the Chargers again. And there was another Kansas City game above that. Yeah, it was 7?
7.
Damn.
7 exactly.
All right, I'm going to go with the over.
Okay. I did as well for a very lame reason. I looked at the rest of the AFC West, and I had under. I'm like, I got to have somebody at over because I could see it going either way. So, yeah.
I think they're
Thank you, Pete. It's terrific logic.
I mean, again, that would be another team where I'd go, I want to pick the push, really.
Yeah.
I want to make it 7-10.
Yeah.
That's how I look at them.
I think we should have 1.5 pushes available next year.
I don't think they're going to go 6-11. I guess I just envision more 8-9, but I think that's right in the wheelhouse of what they will be.
You can take the over and come back to your main feeling about them, that it's not a playoff team.
Yes.
They could be 8-9.
That's the truth.
Or even 9-8.
I don't look at it as a playoff team.
Yeah.
I think Derek Carr could have a good year and put up great numbers and do a lot of things where we go, man, he played well. I just don't know if there's going to be enough around him to help him.
Yeah.
And to me, that is the big thing, the defense.
10-6 missed the playoffs last year, Pete? Dolphins were 10-6.
Yeah. So I guess that's where I come to. But I mean, I just I think of them and I go, who's the standout defensive lineman? I know they got Yannick Ngakoue, okay, but I'm not gonna go, oh my gosh, it's over. You can't block that guy. He's good. Don't get me wrong. He fits that scheme, all that. Middle linebackers. I mean, linebackers they don't pop. And the secondary I think has questions too. I mean, they got some good, but not great. So that's where I can't buy into it. I really can't. So I'm going with the over, ugly over of 8-9.
Yeah. Okay.
They gutted out to get 8-9.
I think how many teams did we differ on there, Pete? I think just Jacksonville. Was that it? Because he switched back on the Chiefs. Okay. We'll always have Jacksonville, Chris.
We'll always have
the 21 Jaguars.
You're going with the Jags.
Yeah.
Yep.
If it comes through, If I win this one, next year
you're
at this
a
time, I'll
genius.
give you a 42 Jacksonville jersey. Who has worn 42 for the Jags?
Ooh, 42 for the Jags. The safety Barry Church wore it a few years ago when he hit.
Terrific
But I
call.
know I'm terrific like that.
Yeah.
I am. Those are things I'm good at. I might not know my math tests or anything.
Yeah.
I am a historian though.
Hey, thinking about the number 42, and this
Yeah.
is very random.
Right.
I was at the Rose Bowl this past weekend called the UCLA game.
Yeah.
Jackie Robinson wore 42.
Right. At UCLA, right?
Do you know how many sports he starred in at UCLA?
So, baseball and track for sure.
There you are.
And there is one more. But
Basketball and football.
did he do both?
He led the nation in return yards, either punt or kick in football 2 years.
Holy cow! I don't
Led
think
what
I knew
was
that.
whatever the Pac-10 was then. Led him in scoring.
Right.
In basketball. Was a standout in track. I think he was the national champ in the triple jump. And oh, by the way,
Pretty
played
good at baseball. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So,
42.
Anytime I hear 42 for the next
Oh.
couple of weeks, I'm going to be thinking that.
Anytime I hear 42, I always think Jackie for sure.
Yeah.
It's just like that's his number. As much as I love Mariano Rivera, who was also 42,
Or Barry Church.
or Barry Church, same class, right?
Yeah.
Ronnie Lott. That's a great 42, no doubt about it. There's been some other probably 42s we're missing through the time.
Yeah.
Oh, Paul Warfield.
Nice
Veep.
job.
Yeah, that's a good one too. You're right.
Yeah. Your dad had some good battles with Ronnie Lott.
Oh my gosh, yes,
Those
he
old
did.
Monday night games,
Little old
man, that
Monday
was
night
fun.
games, getting each other's face.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. We'll have Dad tell that story again. I think he's told it a few times. But
Dad hasn't been on yet.
Yeah, we'll get him Wednesday. I think
he's
Wednesday
coming
we'll
Wednesday,
get him.
okay.
Yeah, Wednesday
Good.
we'll get him on. We'll get him to talk about some of the quarterback stuff, all of that. I mean, Dad probably sees things that feel a little different here and there about the quarterbacks. We'll see. I don't even know what he thinks about should Justin Fields start. I think he's kind of in line with me with the Garoppolo Trey Lance thing.
Yeah.
I don't know where he is with Mac Jones or Cam Newton either.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can ask him those
Don't
type
ask
of things.
until Wednesday.
I won't.
Yeah.
I got no idea. All right, we did it, right?
Cool.
Everything done?
Yeah. That's all the AFC
That was good.
teams. It's all the quarterback
Good old
issues.
hour and 30-minute podcast, somewhere in that
Maybe a
range.
little more.
Might have been a little bit more.
Take the over.
Paulie's bladder only has 70 minutes in it. It's only
That was almost a song.
70, yes. Paulie's bladder.
We might have one by October.
He's only got 70 minutes in that bladder. Like he can't do PFT in the morning. It's a 2-hour show. I don't know. You'd
2
have to
hours
miss him for a
straight,
segment.
yeah.
Yeah. We'd have to
You
miss
are close to a restaurant back there, and you have breaks.
Yeah, but not as much anymore. Now that we're on Peacock, the commercial breaks are not as long as they
I will
used to
say
be.
Seg 1. I was watching Seg 1 today.
40
Or
minutes?
the A block. I forget which one we
Yeah.
call it here.
40 minutes.
It was record breaking.
Yeah, it's been like that
Again, the
a lot
over.
lately. Yeah, the over a lot in the first
Was it
segment.
40?
We brought 40 every day right now.
Holy cow.
Yeah, I know. All right, everybody. Peace out. Send in your questions. Seriously, send in questions, too, because I think we'd like to hit a few things that we didn't hit on last week in some of the AMAs. And if there's anything that popped out to you that you noticed this week that you think I need to look at on film or something let's do it. But we will do NFC win totals on Wednesday. We will knock that out of the park. Hope everybody enjoyed the listen. Paulie B, you
That was
the
fun.
man.
Good to see
Your
you.
kicks today. What? Who?
Orange.
Yeah, orange.
Yeah.
Who makes those though? That's
New
what I want.
Balance.
New Balance.
New
Wow.
Balance.
Look at New Balance being
Yeah.
all edgy.
I know,
I didn't know
right?
they made any sneakers other than the gray with the NB.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are they?
Show your. Yeah. They're on your.
Moved the wrong way. Moved
There
the
we
wrong
go.
way.
Thank you. Do
There
you
we
know?
go.
There you go.
Okay.
There's your feet. There you are.
Yes.
Boom. All right, everybody. Peace out. We'll catch you on Wednesday. See ya. Yo, what's up? Come on, man. Subscribe on YouTube to Chris Sims Unbuttoned Podcast. I need you. Please hit the subscribe button, please.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.